Alright, good evening everyone. System Chalk here with the 41st episode of Cultist Simulator, the Librarian run, playing as Ivan Vucetich, the detective. Now, I feel like I'm making excuses at the start of every week, and this will be no different. I actually have a really sore tongue, and I think my words might actually be a bit slurred while I do this, as much as I'd love to say that I was indulging in the delights of the Grail. I'm actually in a small bit of pain, but the real problem here is just I need to record, and I'm out of time basically to do this. So I'm sorry. I would like the quality to be a bit better, but essentially, if we're getting videos, they're gonna be as they are. I've actually this is the second time trying to record this one, so let's do our best. Now, I know that I had a bit of a surprise with the Gemini ad, and that's opened up some possibilities for us. I can't remember exactly what I got wrong with I think it was like a dread or fascination. Yeah. So we can definitely work on that. We've got the Season of Ambitions coming up, so I'm going to need to wait on that. And we do have another miscreant showing up right in time for the Season of Ambition, so this is a good reason for us to follow up on the Cave of Candles. We have a notoriety which hasn't been picked up. We are going to the Stag Door. And yeah, the investigation probably was not timed all that well, but I'll make do. So let's start with the Cave of Candles. Every 7th sunset, a cunning man comes from the village below to renew the candles. The floor of the entrance chamber is slick of stinking wax. He claims that the light keeps the creature below cowed, but more likely the sacrifices he brings keep it too sated to emerge. So this is a key job. There's really nothing else to bring in, but we'll add the Callagine just to preserve it. The ascent to the cave through the high passes will be dangerous. Whatever waits in the darkness below is probably more dangerous still. Okay, so we actually probably need Forge as well. Optimism is a spice which saves. Alright, my studies have been stymied for now. So let me just double check what I need here. So I'm willing to risk my health, but the dread is a problem. So it wants silent intensity, which we don't have. HQ with a pit, which we don't have, and so it's got to be dread. Now winter will help us. Winter would be something we can get from the Stag Door. I'm just trying to think if that makes the most sense right now. I think so. The alternative is from the investigation, which is why I think we did it. The other thing I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk to Valcine. You know what? Let's make an edge snare. I'm going to talk with Eldridge about a location, and that's just so that I can refresh the snare in case the worst happens. Okay, so because I don't have the dread, it doesn't make any sense to try and upgrade the Menascate invocation and the Geminate invocation, so we'll just leave it be there. I'm trying to think if it makes sense for me to try any other study activities right now. I can't really see any advantage, so I've actually been playing a bit of Book of Hours, so I was thinking, it's like, oh, well, you know, I can reread one of these books and get the memory, and I'm like, if I do that, I lose the book, so I need to switch modes. So the main goal here, again, it's just sort of to plunder all of the different vaults. That's my main goal at the moment, but I would like, if I can, to try and get the biggest stack of secret histories that I can. Okay, so we knew that was coming. The world as it is. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm saying if that means anything. And Season of Suspicion coming up, so not going after that notoriety has a cost, but I will have to settle. I don't need to do 3 reasons. I think I can get the dread no matter what, so. The expedition continues. Our expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I could add funds now, or I could send another follower. Bleak and gray-green slopes lift the eye to a distant snow-edged sky-straining peaks, for it'll be a devil of a job to find anything in there. Forge will sustain us. Winter will shield us. By the way, I did want to take a quick minute and say, I think the timing is going to be off for the individual who did it, but I got a very nice notification on Twitter that somebody's been watching the videos, and they obviously, they recommend, maybe not obviously, but they recommended them, and just talked about how they enjoyed them, and seemingly it had helped them get back into Cultist Simulator. And I wanted to say, there's no way to say this and not have it sound self-congratulatory. That's not really where I'm going with it. But I did want to just take a minute and mark that because, again, it is still a small channel. And that's fine, right? Like, that's going to sort itself out. Either, the quality will come up to match a larger audience, or people will discover it, or, it'll stay and we'll have some fun. Because if you like it, that it doesn't really matter how many other people do. But it does actually, because it is small enough, I am small enough to notice when stuff like that happens, particularly if I'm tagged. And it actually did a really nice job of making me feel good. While I realize the majority of people who are watching may not even particularly care about Twitter, I want to just take a minute and say thank you for that, because, when I watch stuff on YouTube, I tend not to think that much about the person behind it, but it is something that I do tend to notice with Cultist Simulator, and it's the reason why I keep streaming it. So, wanted to take a minute and say thank you for that. And of course, that's not just for that one specific person. A lot of you have done a very nice job of making me feel very welcome. So, here is another who would ascend before me. It's a cautious scheme, so we don't need to worry about our locations. So that does mean that I may feel a little foolish about making the snare, but we couldn't have known ahead of time, so I still think that was the right call. Now we are looking to try and get winter, or not, to get dread out of this, or get dread in general. And it seems to me like we have an opportunity when we go through the stag door to go to the Ascent of Knives. So I'm just going to take a quick second here because I was making some notes on... Oh, where are you? There we go. So last time I went with the Forge. So it may actually be that there's a secret histories hiding behind the Painted River. You know what? I feel bad about it, but I do actually rate the secret histories more than the dread. That hurts. The Painted River runs from a great chamber near the White Door, far through the Mansus, to its far edge, where it enters a painted delta of far cloud. I voyaged half its length last night, with a stern-faced captain beneath a rust-red sail. As the clouds rose before us, the sailors raised a yearning shanty and close-hauled the sails to best use the painted wind, and all the while the captain and I discoursed on the secrets of the House of the Sun. So it's the same routine as far as the stag door goes. We want as many secret histories as we can get. It's within our power to go quite far with them. The Mountaineer's Road. Our forge skills represent plenty of expertise. We'll almost certainly make it through. Alright, my arrival is at their business in the shadows. They're still in hiding. What exactly are they up to? Almost always this will end inconclusively, but occasionally a rival will manage to increase their power in secret. Rivals are cautious. They don't prowl the streets like hunters. To defeat one, we must prepare a trap and await our opportunity. Okay, so now I don't want to generate red. Now, if I were so inclined, I could try to summon something again, but the question is, like, for what would that accomplish? I do have a finite amount of, you know, in terms of resources, and in fairness, like, I don't expect that I'm going to be running out of them anytime soon, but it may still be an idea for me to be a little more careful in terms of conserving resources. We will need to destroy some evidence, but the Callaghan is perfectly capable of handling that, so... My follower has prepared a stratagem, which, with considerable luck, might defeat a rival's plans. Alright, I think we go back to... Well, there's no... Well, we'll get a mystique from the event, so yes, we can use Leo to charm. And we'll just watch the inspector's position to make sure we don't run out of work. Round 2 with the forge. I am going to go back to the Painted River because I don't see winter coming up a second time. Okay. Apparently, can't get enough erudition. We don't need to read that again. Well, we can, just... If I can make a little more progress, and especially if I'm feeling not 100% in terms of talking, maybe I'll try and be a little more selective. Crossguard and Shivering, we've made it through the mountains. So again, Eden's all we need for this, or Neville I guess in this case, but Valsine actually has some extra knock anyway. Right, my rival's been up to some kind of mischief. The Suppression Bureau may take note. And if a hunter has found notoriety, they will try to use it to create or upgrade evidence. If they're meticulous, they'll always succeed. If they're erratic, they're more likely to fail, but they can occasionally create evidence even without notoriety. So here we want to avoid any dread. This is actually where the winter may not have served me very well. And what I'm going to do to manage that, I'm going to go to work. Okay, another season of suspicion. That is a potential danger. So I'll take the Troublemaker. Has my adversary been practicing a musical instrument instead of pursuing the investigation, flinging darts at a corkboard, or just taking very long naps? Reports are inconsistent, but so is their behavior. They've made no progress. That's the second time Hobson's blown it, so I'm certainly happy. The Serpent's Mouth. Sorry, we call upon them other events which ariseth from wounds. The Serpent's Mouth. To be continued. Sorry, just need to get my notes. That one, This is actually, I've been consulting just kind of the last few comparisons. I think I was doing better when I was relying on intuition. I dreamt of the mantis behind the white door, of the great space above the orchard, the space that overlooks the bounds, the space where the vagabond once painted her river. Painted ships passed upon the painted river. I met the painted eyes of a painted captain. She saluted, and the motion was like the layered movement of clouds. The sail of the ship was amber, and the captain's eyes the green of new barley, and the river aquamarine. Now that I'm awake, I see those colors still. So that'll go away with the fleeting reminiscence, but I do need to be careful. Oh, sorry. The serpent's mouth is large enough to crouch in. Its tongue is the thickness of a man's shoulders, but almost certainly it will respect the power we bear. The serpent's sorrow. It lowers its great head. Moisture seeps from its eyelids. Sorry, from its lidless eyes. Is it weeping? What does it remember of its eldest sister, whose power we call upon? This is a spice which saves. So we'll we'll give this a little while, and then we'll send Leo back to mop up the notoriety that will emerge from completing the expedition. Okay, Connie's on the investigation now. Season of Ardors, so if I do have any dread that I need to quickly dispose of, we can use the contentment. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Investigations turned up no new leads. This may be a bit premature, but we'll give it a shot. This one seems to be struggling with its placement. As nice as a subtle rupture is. Honestly, at this point, I think we'll just keep going with this painted river. There is great chamber in the manses through which the painted river flows. The vagabond, it is claimed, painted it from memory in the years before she left the house. Certainly, there are histories concealed in its design. I traced them with my hand last night. There were fragments of aquamarine paint beneath my nails, flecks of gold leaf when I was done. This feels related to a... So I think what's happening is when I try to put the card down, it's detecting the... It's like, in this case, I wind up putting it on top here, and it's trying to avoid landing on the verb. Anyways, we'll just put it in Siberia. Okay, we're gonna... I think we will keep pushing the investigation. A nest of lights. The tunnels beneath the cave are smooth with the Great Serpent's Passage, and chokingly dark until we come with our lanterns. But the chamber where it nested is surprisingly bright. Luminescent fungi flood the place with Ersta's moonlight. Perhaps the candles drew it, not repelled it. So, looks like we're gonna get hit with the notoriety. Connie's gonna pick it up. So actually, I'm gonna pull the reason. I should have made it the Society of the Holy Wound anyway, but because we've generated the notoriety, it's actually better for me to get the Callagine ready to destroy evidence. A nest of lights, a little cache of treasures culled over the years from the serpent's meals. It has nosed them into a glinting pile. So this is going to turn into fascination if I don't use it. If I do use it, it's not going to get consumed, so this is definitely going to turn into fascination. Light dews the skin and suffuses the air. The sixth order influence, significant resonances or correspondences. So we've got the Equivitreus, which apparently we haven't gotten before. A pale and watchful fluid that can be gathered sometimes when the door in the eye is opened. The Sky, the Soul, the Grand Labor of Cal, an ascetic poet writing at the court of the Shadowless Kings. Now, for some reason, I feel like I've run into this before, and I know I keep saying that, and I think the reason for this is now because of Book of Hours. Because I did look for duplicates, but one way or the other, I don't see anything, and if it vanishes on the desktop, I'll know I made a mistake. An account of Kanishk at the Spider's Door. Loch Cowley, Kanishk's victim and lover, wrote this account, perhaps posthumously. So the hunter did not find evidence, hence it would not make the notoriety. I am going to wait, though. I need to keep the Callagine alive, so I'm still not going to commit Leo to the task. I am, however, going to wait. Land beyond the forest now. Those stories that have been forbidden are the ones most apt for us to read. That's right. This is why I want to. I do have some things I should be doing with my study verb. Study the histories. History is less certain than we are taught. I can learn from the study of its blurred edges. And I need a glimmering. This will be short-lived. I should probably do a painting. I really didn't think this one through. I'm safe for now. My adversary has not enough evidence to bring a case against me, and they found no new clues. So, nothing then. So, we'll talk with the Callagine to preserve it. When I finish the work here... tough call, actually. Let's try the Ascent of Knives this time. I'm happy to dodge the fascination, but the urgency of appetite doesn't help us here. The Ascent of Knives is called the Sharp Stair, and the Mother of Mirrors, and the Feast of the Grail. If one is to look beneath the stair, as I did last night in my dreams, one understands that last name. It draws a tithe of blood from the feet of those who ascend. And Pausai, some shaped like men, many shaped like women, wait beneath the glass of the stairs to satisfy their hunger. I did not approach, I made no sound, I only observed. My investigations turned up no new leads. I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try with notoriety. This will generate mystique, which is not so good, but I'm going to do a painting. Well, let's make the contentment. This should have an impact. Well, if we're already losing the fleeting reminiscent, well... And I blew it. The Troublemaker is actually going to cause us more trouble because of the Season of Ambition. So I need to get a little more control on this playthrough. Today I've been letting a little too much slip by. Okay, I'm deciding on the Stag Door because the fascination's not going to bother us within the next minute. We are going to need to deal with the intensity of radiance, but this fleeting reminiscence is going to be gone, and trying to preserve it with the painting's not going to help. Alright, into the night. Wisdom is a country, and these are its maps. Solve all the challenges on both fragments of lore to complete the research task. You can return to a task later if you fail. Might as well pay for the paints. So unfortunately, the Troublemaker's going to get picked up before I can do anything about it. Alright, the Kuznetsov endowment. Now, there's a big worry here. I've got 4 seconds. The Callagine's gonna stick around for longer, though, so I think... No, I'm gonna get some warning, actually, so... we can provide a library for the starting one. So, murderous scheme, so we're good. The journey to the... Kuznetsov endowment. Prince Kuznetsov gave 1/4 of his blood-soaked fortune to the establishment of a department for eschatology at this provincial university. The staff have grown peculiar now, and the buildings fester in a freezing swamp, but some of Kuznetsov's bequest, perhaps, was spent on treasure. So this strikes me that we're going to need a... possible heart follower. You know what? I'm gonna add another forge follower just because that'll fill us up for the forge, and then we can adjust the rest accordingly. Oh, sorry, there was more. The journey to the endowment buildings is not long, but the ground is difficult, so Forge will help us there. We have sent 3 times for permission to visit and received a less friendly answer each time. No doubt the staff will attempt to forbid our entry. Okay. Doesn't look like there are too many faults, but like I said, I want to try and get a little bit more control over this playthrough. Okay. Recent work has drawn some attention. Something should sell. Always happy for the contentment. And we are not overexposed. But I don't have any evidence. So we're gonna have to wait on the inspector's position for... I'm gonna try the Ascent of Knives this time, but... Of the place my dreams took me last night, this has been written. The ascent is glass, the walls are knives, each step is blood. I did not climb far. The pain was too great. When I woke, that pain remained with me, a pain I could employ to occult purposes if I hurry. Anger is implicit in every shape. Okay, I can't charge off too quickly. We should have a vitality. Nope, the course of the hearts run its course. So all right, that's 58 minutes. Or sorry, 58 seconds. So I am gonna have to beg for my job back. The expedition continues. Our expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I could add funds now, or I could send another follower. So, lantern or knock. So I am going to need to add a knock follower. But let's start with... Okay, so first of all, we're going to use our passion to plead for reinstatement. Why won't they understand? I'm going to add a moth follower. So I think Sylvia's the new favorite. Well, not favorite, but the one who's less likely to die on an expedition. I do need to get rid of this fascination, so I think I'm going to try and induct one of the followers. Okay, we invoke the Madrigad, an hour of forge as well as winter. We will make our own path through. Success is almost certain. We need intuition now. Where did one of my passion go? Right, reinstatement, duh. I visited the Ascent of Knives last night, that harshest of roads through the house. It has been sacred to the Menascate and the sun and rag since the intercalate, when the sun was divided. When I woke, my room was freezing. The chill of it had cracked the window glass. So this we want to decay into dread to turn into the higher level. Well, first of all, to turn into knock, and then we need to upgrade the knock. So, I don't think I have any options as far as Dream goes. There it is that it? Arrival intends to end a hunter. This may be to my advantage, but it may also draw attention. Alright, optimism is a spice which saves, so we're clear of reputation. I do want to be clear of fascination, so we will take the... We'll take the Society of the Holy Wound, an occult society dedicated to the hours which open doors. I will grab... I think we'll just take them in order. We will add Fascination to the ceremony. We will add Meniscate Invocation. This one is ready. Actually, probably could have tried to move the pawn up at that. Well, no, with 8, I think we need more. We can find out. I don't want to be too hasty with this bitter atmosphere, so we'll just wait for a little bit. I've been reinstated for now. As much as I would like to paint again, we're gonna hold the line with wakeful. Are you joking me? Alright, so painting is actually a really good idea now. Well, it's gonna go down from 10, so... Safe across treacherous ground. We're mud-spattered and thorn-scratched, but we made it through. I'll add another funds just for safety. Only a little wound, just enough to give homage to the powers that open. Okay, I need to heal. I also think that's it for now. I've been writing the last couple ones down, but... The stag door opens. There is a great chamber in the Mansus through which the painted river flows. The vagabond, it is claimed, painted it from memory in the years before she left the house. Certainly there are histories concealed in its design. I traced them with my hand last night. There were fragments of aquamarine paint beneath my nails, flecks of gold leaf when I was done. Now, I think that's it for tonight, or not tonight, for this session. I did have a little bit more that I wanted to go through, and one drawback actually is, I don't want to say that I was losing my interest in the Librarian run, but given where I am with a few details, I'm actually feeling quite encouraged by the state of play. The reason I say that is, so I've already got the Meniscate Invocation. I believe we can get to the Spider's Door off of that, but we're going to advance it one more time. We're going to double up the Geminate Invocation and then sort of move to a higher level. And it may not get us to the Peacock's Door. I need to double check. I think I'm one short of the Peacock's Door off of that. But it does give us access to higher level secret histories, which will mean that a lot of the research that I need to do, it's simplified. I'm not above doing it because obviously I keep the study verb open for for the majority of the time. But obviously being able to get a bit further and get higher level influences is a significant advantage. And then of course we've already built the character around being able to get to upgrade secret histories quite easily, maybe at the expense of not being able to move up our knock, our knock lore, but that's a separate issue. So there's still work to be done in terms of exploring the different vaults. That was always true. The Librarian one was always going to entail going through all of the vaults. And to be honest, when I play the game, I usually go through all the vaults. But what does interest me is that, and I think maybe to a certain extent it was because I had given up hope of being able to do things like visit the Mansus beyond a certain point. The fact that I now am finally able to do rituals after so many episodes of not being able to, that has left me feeling very energized about this particular playthrough. Although obviously my condition right now maybe keeps the enthusiasm a little more muted than it should be. But I hope you're enjoying this, because I have a fairly clear idea of where this is going. And I know a couple of you saw some DMs from me in terms of a certain degree of giddiness. It is sometimes a little bit of a dilemma not to give away what I think the plans are. So if I was muted today, it is more so because of my condition rather than because of my my enthusiasm for this. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I think and I hope that this is going to be a very worthy kind of worthy milestone to hit, and one to hit so close to the release of the Book of Hours. But as always, thank you very much for watching. We will see you on Wednesday in the next episode. Until then, take care.